Good evening. If you're looking for supplies, this is not the right time to get them. If you're a provider of supplies, we receive them until midday, and if you're looking to pay a little visit, this is not the time for it either. And in case you're a thief, I don't think you would want to steal something from here unless you want to take some anxiolytics, which I certainly do not recommend, especially when the expiration date can be a little off or simply a facade. So, I guess you have nothing to be doing here. Oh well. This is out of the ordinary. You don't really look like a provider. You don't look like the one who's looking for supplies. And you certainly don't seem to be a thief, unless dressed like that. So, if you are not any of those three, let me ask you the common question. How can I help you? Looking for God? Seriously? No, I don't think I'm looking for God. I mean, have you seen this place? I don't really think that God has been here in a very long time. That's if he has even been here once. A priest? Well, I guess that explains the garment. Do we have to call you Father then? Good. So I don't really have to bother myself with formalities. So tell me, Father, or non-Father, what can I do for you? This late at night? How can I be so sure that you are a father and that you are not some crazy person making yourself seem like a priest when actually you belong into one of those corridors and into one of those cells? Yeah. You know, you're not the only person who says that. I mean, if you had been here before, you could have been able to recognize how silly that sounds. Oh yes, we have a person here, a patient, who swears he sees God every morning. Oh no, not in a metaphorical way. It's at breakfast when everybody is having their coffee creamer. He somehow swears that he can spot Jesus Christ's face in the foam of his coffee. So, what do you think we, the staff, should do about it? I mean, usually it's one little shot, and if you knew God's inventions when it comes to syringes, you would be amazed at how one single shot can really be enough to stop the divine fantasies. Since you seem to be quite insistent in the matter, I wonder if you are looking for a shot yourself. Come on, don't take it as offensive. I'm just doing what I can here. You don't know what it is like having to deal with those people. That doesn't really convince me. I mean, what is a man like you, from your culture, doing in a place like this? Are you here to try to persuade me to somehow follow the Bible rules? Are you here to perform an exorcism, which in that case I would need the order of a judge, and well, I would like to record it because it can be great for recreational purposes, especially when it comes to therapy group. I'm not a woman of faith. I mean, I'm a doctor. I use logic. Logic is my field, and it seems to be quite against faith, at least nowadays. Things are now explained in more logical ways. Somehow, getting to draw conclusions with logical process seems better than to ask yourself why God hasn't sent us the rain we so desperately desire and need. Well, you really think you can just pray for the good of these people? Aren't you a little bit too idealist? I mean, I'm not gonna oppose any resistance if you want to believe in morals, in the greater good, or if you want to waste your time. I mean, it's your time at the end of the day, but I do hope that for coming here this late at night into this awful hole, I do hope that your God pays you well, because when it comes to my salary, God has seemed to forget the raise at least. I've been waiting for it for about half an year, and it doesn't seem to be coming my way soon. Maybe I will have to kneel down and start praying as well. Who knows, maybe you can do that for me right now. Come on, Father, or non-Father. Don't waste my time. I was just finishing some reports, and one of these is actually from the guy of the coffee creamer. One of these days I will try it myself. Who knows, maybe I have some revelations and they tell me that I'm not supposed to be a doctor. Well, I would love to be... I think that's a tough question though, but I've always dreamed with having an important place in society. No, not exactly. I don't think me as a doctor, I don't think I have an important role, at least not one that satisfies my wishes, but I realized about it quite too late in life. So, I'm not about to throw my career out of the window, right? We still need to eat and rent. Well, if you insist, I may want to be someone important, but someone that can work lurking in the shadows. You know, that's a nice paradox? Being hidden in the dark, yet somehow creating important things, making people wonder who is the person behind the mask, who is the person doing all those amazing creations. And yes, that sounds perfect. I love mystery. I think that's the reason I decided to follow the scientific path, you kinda have to have mystery, or at least have a predisposition for solving mysterious cases if you really want to follow the medical career. But you're not here for a little chit chat with me, aren't you? I mean, all this time we've been entertaining ourselves with this soothing talk, but I have a feeling you want to ask something from me. Am I wrong? A patient. And whose patient could that be? Yes, can I ask whose? Because every patient belongs to a cell, and in this asylum, well, the cells can be more important than patients, especially if you're alone, mounting guard, and you don't have anything nor anyone to help you. If one of them decides to escape the cell and go running along the corridors, that would be chaotic and not something I'm well compensated for. So, enough of that, Father. Just tell me, who are you looking for? Corridor C. Nobody usually comes here for Corridor C, unless it's a special festivity like Christmas or maybe summer holidays. When families get a little guilty because of having abandoned people here. They tend to bring some gifts, and usually the staff eats them, because normally it's food, and it's not our fault though. Patients have a very strict diet. You can imagine that we cannot give them sugary foods. If we have a guy swearing he's seen Jesus Christ in his coffee creamer, you don't really want to have that guy on a sugar crash, trust me. So, Corridor C then. And which cell? 26? Do you know, by any chance, who's staying at cell 26? Changing the name for room doesn't make it any better. It's a cell, let's be honest. Yes, it's Lillian Winters. May I ask what the interest for visiting Lillian Winters is? Yeah, religious. I mean, do you know that Lillian Winters has not been feeling very predisposed to talk to anyone? To you? I just want to make sure before you try to do some silly thing and force her to talk, especially when she's been so reluctant to do it and has put up a fight most of the time. Yeah, it's not just that. I mean, we have had to restrain her, and when I mean restrain her, I don't just mean giving her a shot of the syringes I was talking about before. I certainly mean having to tie her down to the bed, and usually it demands cuffs for her ankles as well. Yes, that's how bad it is. Well, I mean, if you insist, and I'm not going to be the one trying to restrain her, I guess we could make an exception. You can come back tomorrow and I'll let the staff know, I will warn them about what your intention is. I'm sorry. Well, I thought you were trying to schedule a date for visiting cell 26 patient. And may I ask what's so urgent that you have to see her now when she may be resting? An act of faith, yeah. I don't think that's going to be possible, Father. You cannot expect me to just let you go into Corridor C unless you want to assume some risks and free me from responsibilities. And what makes you think I'm going to risk losing my job to do that? I cannot deny you do have faith not only in God but in yourself. I don't know, Father. It doesn't seem very convincing or beneficial to me. Can you give any more information? Then, yes, I do need the money, but I didn't know this was an act that God could approve. I mean, I approve it myself, but just leave the cash behind my computer. I don't want the security cameras recording it. Alright, well, I'll take you to Corridor C. God help us.